What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Madden 15 video. Please do me a favor, take a moment, hit the like button for me, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Criticism in the comment section, as always, run over to Twitter, give me a follow. My username is Shutdown Safety. So yesterday, I spoke about just the features, about as directly as I could, and obviously this time last year, many of you realized I was down at EA for Community Week, and while I won't say that limited what I could say, I almost prefer to be able to just come out and share my views with the community with no, background information in terms of what's really going to be corrected or what's not fixed. I mean, it's possible that the opinions that I share in this video could be wrong, which is great. I mean, I'd love for this to be, the game that we've been asking for so long. However, once you've went and played that pre-release, once you've talked to the devs, you don't have that same room for error. So by nature, you're a little bit less critical in the marketing because you know what's there. So, it was a privilege to go down there and see things from the inside for a week. I think it made me a better commentator as a whole to see things that way. But I still like to look at it from, the community and public standpoint and speak to it. So when I look at the presentation for Madden 15, I get like the Subway sandwich vibe. You got called out on your problems, and now you just want to change the bread. It's going to look different, it might feel different, might have a different texture, but, we all know the first time you take that bite, you're going to know it's the same damn sandwich. So the thing I'm really most curious about is this defensive camera. Is this going to be an option? Is this something I'm stuck with? Because I think we've seen similar cameras, not only with Backbreaker, where they weren't really accepted well, but also if you go back and you look at the My Player mode that Madden had for a while. The issue with this is, you've really trained us to have this, God mode camera, and to me, you're actually hurting the defense if you're going to continue to allow the offense to use that camera, but then kind of stick the defense in this box. In addition to that, I'm intrigued about the replays. Are we just going to see what I saw from the defensive standpoint, or are you going to be able to go back and look at the traditional replays we have now? Because I think maybe what's lost in this with EA is, as a gamer, I'm not changing positions all the time during a play because that's what I want to do. I'm actually going and making corrections a lot of times, whether that's pursuit or whether that's playing the ball, spying a quarterback, protecting the flat, whatever the case is going to be. And if you're going to lock me onto one player, I don't have enough trust in the defense behind me to play authentic football. And I think you're going to really start to see way overpowered offenses when we start to talk about some of the glitches and money plays that no matter what they say are just going to be inevitable. It's a video game. There's going to be glitches and flaws. So to me, the second part of this is the post-play celebrations, the interactions, and how natural is this going to look? I mean, you can sit here and tell me that you're taking out the cutscenes to make this more organic and more seamless, but how are you going to execute that? Are we still going to have players, walking into each other, tripping, falling? Are they going to try to go over to these horrendous sidelines? That's really not improving. In fact, as far as I was concerned, those cutscenes are there to provide those, super clean, crisp interactions and get away from the inevitable, errors of the sideline or the poor detail of other characters. And we saw that even with, All-Pro Football, even with NFL 2K5, of course with Madden. So to me, when we talk about the first time you have that interaction where you score that game-winning field goal and you run off the field with your kicker and he goes to about 9 people, all who were, 32-bit Sega quality, and they're just clapping and celebrating, I'm sorry, like, that's not what I want. That's not the change that I'm looking for. Give me back the damn cutscene. The presentation is the other aspect of this that, no offense to local talent, but this is where I get the most lost with EA. I mean, you have these agreements with people at your disposal, with NFL, with ESPN, and we get, local talent. Daniel Bellini last year, Larry Ridley this year, and it's great for these people. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's awesome that they go out and they get this national exposure, and I'm sure they have a great work ethic and are very proud of what they're doing, but listen, they're not national talent for a reason. And if authenticity is what we're striving for, is it really that much more effort to go get a Pam Oliver or a Susie Colbert or a Charles Davis? I mean, these are people that have done video games before, some with EA. We've heard enough about upgraded commentary, seriously. I mean, every year we're told, 80 hours of new commentary. That's great, but will someone explain to me where that was added? Because something doesn't add up when I can play the game that I have now for a solid hour, or play maybe even 2 short games back to back, and I'll hear the same commentary repeat at least once. I feel like if you're going to add 80 hours, there was no need to freshen up current lines. It's possible with that we would never hear the bad ones again. So the, elephant on the field would be the grass. I mean, at this point, who in marketing at EA feels like it's a good idea to bring this up? I mean, it's about the last place I'm looking for improvement. I mean, in fact, when you bring it up, I personally feel like you're just doing it to mask areas that haven't been improved. I mean, it's almost as like improving it must be talked about as a priority. I mean, last year we were told this was the best grass ever. Now you're telling me this is the best grass ever, because apparently you told me last year it was 3D grass, but it was only 3D in replays. And I'm such a sucker because I didn't even notice it when I played the game, but now you fixed it. And I'm playing on 3D grass like I thought I was last year, but I wasn't. Unless I looked in the replays, because then I was. But I mean, seriously, like that's what they've done to us. So I know that the list that they came out with is great. And it looks like there's a lot of stuff that's improved. But the last thing I want to hear about is the grass. So I would love to know your guys' opinions on this. I appreciate you taking time to sit through this video. And I will be back in the week with more content.